Hey guys, I'm Zaron, and I'm going to be doing this little video to review the Saber, as I'm sure all of you guys who also bought it are just excited to be able to use it for the first time, find out just how it is. I was elated, delighted to see that the PTU was out when I got home from class, and even more so when I found that I was in it. So I hope this video kind of helps you guys find out how it is, and we'll go through some of the different parts of the PTU as well. But overall, the thing is a blast and is everything that I was really hoping that it would be. Not too overpowered, so the people that were really worrying about it being OP definitely do not have to worry about that. Some of the biggest issues that obviously we have right now in terms of really getting a good feel for it, and you notice I won't really get a whole lot of kills in this game, is that the PTU, as most of you know, you cannot bring in rental equipment to, so unfortunately I am stuck with a stock loadout on this thing, which kind of sucks because of the different speed velocities, bullet velocities of the 227 and the 117 repeaters. They unfortunately really can't bring all their firepower to bear at the same time. So that unfortunately kind of is a bit of a limiting factor, but still overall a fun ship to fly. So jumping into it, as you can see, PTU isn't that bad. It's actually pretty stable. I probably only crashed, I think, 5 times in the 5 hours that I was playing it today. And in terms of actual performance-wise, even with the debugging turned on that they have on the PTUs, really was actually pretty good. I actually almost kind of thought it was maybe even better than the current live version. So they've definitely put in some optimizations into the game to help it go run a lot smoother. And some of the other big things, if you haven't noticed on the PTU, is that Star Marine is active. You can queue up for Star Marine. However, from what I saw from some people posted, they unfortunately are having some of the files missing. So nobody's really getting to play it yet, but it is there. So there is light at the end of the tunnel. Hopefully that'll be coming soon. So stability is pretty good, so hopefully they'll have this out for general consumption on the live server soon, so we can all have some fun blowing each other up with these things, and people can actually really get their hands on these things the first time. Because no matter how good of an explanation I can do, nothing beats actually getting your hands on it, getting to use it. So let's jump into what the Saber is. Or actually before that, just a quick note on my controllers. Obviously you see I'm using a dual joystick setup. The right hand has the Thrustmaster Warthog, which has the normal axes that a joystick would have, the yaw and pitch. The left hand is the Satec X52, my old joystick, which is a good joystick for the price, but not nearly as good as the Thrustmaster, obviously. That has the up, down, and right, left strafe on it. Also has my throttle on my left thumb and the hat right there. And my pinky switches on both joysticks are boost and afterburner. What you can't see on my feet are the Satec the Satec Combat Pro rudder pedals, where I have the roll and the forward and back strafe, so I can actually control the speed independent of the throttle. And let me tell you, when you have those dual joysticks, I just started using this yesterday, so I don't really have it being used yet to the full extent that they really can be with a ship like this, so you have to bear with me just a little bit. But with a ship this maneuverable, they are an absolute blast. You could really get between asteroids and kind of orbit ships, and just to have a lot of fun and being hard to hit. So let's get, without further ado, let's get into Saber, as this is after all a video about the Saber. First off, the maneuverability, which was my biggest question mark. The maneuverability, they said, was going to be like the Gladius, but was going to feel like a little bit of a heavier ship. Obviously, it is a heavier ship, and they hit probably the nail on the head, I really think. Definitely a maneuverable ship, but you really can feel the extra momentum and inertia that this thing does have. If you see it, I think I might do it at one part in the video where I'll roll full input to the left, and then I'll change it to full input to the right, and you'll really see that it takes about a second to 2 seconds to really get to the full roll rate, and it takes about the same amount of time to actually counteract that roll, and another 2 seconds to really get to the full right roll rate. So you'll definitely feel that extra momentum. Also, kind of when you're trying to keep your nose on target, you'll kind of feel that momentum. Bring your nose past the target, even though you have changed the input. But a quick utilization of the boost really kills that momentum really nicely. And a good judicious use is very important, I think, for flying a Saber really well. And if you do that well, then this really does perform pretty similarly to the Gladius. I was really happy. Not quite as maneuverable as the Gladius, which I think a lot of people were hoping it was going to be quite that maneuverable, but it definitely does a very good job. Bigger target, so the maneuverability obviously isn't quite as, what I want to say, effective since the Gladius and especially the M50 are such small targets, but it definitely makes it hard to hit even for that size. This R-Strafe guy that's in this game, you'll see me kind of battle a couple times. He does seem to have a bit of a trouble hitting me. He's a pretty good shot, not Malgos or Hate Fury, but he is a pretty good shot, and he does have some trouble hitting me. So in terms of the shield power, it does have very good shield power. I would say that it's almost on par with the Vanguard. The CIG said that it was going to have array shielding, which I believe is 4 size 1 shields. I don't know exactly how they will work together, if it's 4 layers of shields all around the ship, or if it's just a different shield generator on each section of the ship, which I think is the way that it works. But it does have fantastic shields, so especially when you're using the stock weapons like I have to right now, it takes quite a while to get through the Saber shield to actually engage the hull and actually put damage on target. However, obviously, if a lot of you guys know, the ballistics do have shield penetrating power, and that is, I think, the biggest weakness in terms of how to kill a Saber is those ballistics, because you are going to get through those shields and you are going to cause some hurt on the hull. And obviously, unlike the shields, the hull doesn't regenerate if you run away. So one of the other problems that the Saber does have, though, getting into the power, is its amount of power. I mean, this thing only has 2 Badgers and 2 Panthers on it right now, but even with that, it still has some difficulty keeping its thrusters powered unless you change the power distribution. But just a simple change I found, I've got it mapped to one of my thumb hats on my joysticks. If you change it to about 2 clicks to the Group 3, which is the engines, to focus the power more on the engines, that does kill that, so you do maintain power to your thrusters. Obviously, a ship this big, or really a ship any size, you end up floating through space in the middle of a fight, you're going to get killed pretty darn quick, and you really do in this ship get killed pretty darn quick if you're not utilizing any maneuverability. So make sure that the first thing that you do when you spawn in one of these Sabers is to change that power setting. Especially if you're using 2 joystick setups like I am, you kind of strafing a lot. I think that really drains the power a lot quicker. So you'll really have to find some ways to deal with that. I think that once we get to be able to use ballistics, it'll really help that out. I'm really hoping to use the GT220 Mantis Gatling first. I think that's going to be the last to use on the ship, just because it's a lot easier to fight. You don't have to be quite as selective on your shots, so it kind of lets you concentrate a little bit more on what you're doing with the ship, utilizing its maneuverability to throw off the other guy's shots. Obviously, I think the Mark III Tarantulas, the size 3 Tarantulas, and the size 3, I think the broadswords, maybe it was the long swords, the size 3, will also be great guns to use. A lot of hit stopping power, and I think, especially for a ship this quick, that you kind of might want to have a little bit shorter engagement times when you're fighting people with ballistics. It does let you get in and out a lot faster and finish people off before they even realize that you're on them. Unfortunately, the stealth isn't in the game yet. I didn't have any problems targeting Sabers across the map. Of course, they were fighting, so obviously their power and heat output's going to be a lot higher than normal, but I didn't really notice anybody that snuck up on me as I was playing, so I really don't think that, as a lot of people were expecting, the stealth is not in the game yet, which obviously for the Saber was one of its kind of biggest benefits, and so I think that once they have that, it will be even more of a player in terms of being able to DC the Super Hornet in its reign supreme of the Arena Commander. But I think once we get the monoboats in, or being able to actually just use the guns that you want, I think that'll, and being able to bring your firepower, all of your firepower to bear when you want, I think this Saber will be a very good contender for ships to use in Arena Commander and in the Persistent universe. Very survivable ship, and I have to say too, if you guys haven't seen the videos of people that have kind of gone and done some footage of the bay doors opening for the missiles, it is really pretty cool. It's kind of like the F-22. It houses them inside so that it can retain its stealth ability, but they open just kind of like the F-22 and launch out. It's pretty cool, but fortunately, since this is kind of Arena Commander, I don't really get the time between all of this fighting to really be able to show that off. As you can see right now, one of the bugs that's in the game is that I don't have the ability to use my Chaffle flares right now. I kind of think that they might still be being launched at times, but as you can see, they're grayed out as if neither are selected, and the numbers are not going down when I'm trying to hit the button. Because trust me, I am hitting the button whenever these guys are launching these missiles at me, but nothing's coming out of the ship, what it seems like. So one of the kind of intermittent bugs that happens at times in this build, so hopefully they'll fix that soon. I'll have to get this, I think somebody's already submitted to Issue Council, so hopefully they'll get to that. But I'm going to let you guys just kind of watch the rest of this without me talking. One of the Easter eggs that's really kind of funny to look out for is, as you can see right now, if you look at the generator, maybe it's not quite yet, but somebody must have hit it. I don't know what happened, but the reactor core at the beginning of the terraformer, or at the center of the terraformer, somehow got attached to one of the, I think, Hornets. The guy's name starts with a B if you see me target him. But the thing is just flying around him. And it just looks hilarious to watch it kind of orbit a ship. It works quite well, I think, as a physical shield and just a battering ram for ships, because it kind of seemed to retain its physics. I flew through where it used to be, and I didn't crash into anything, so I would imagine that thing orbiting around him has its physics in there. So I'll let you guys listen to this, because there are some really cool sounds. The Hornet flyby sound is really cool. And you guys hopefully like this video. Feel free to send me any questions you have in forums, private message, YouTube. I'll be happy to answer them on PTU, on the Saber, or anything else. So if you see right there, you can see right there right now that thing floating around that guy. It's just was hilarious to watch. So hope you guys enjoyed this, and I will see you guys in the verse.
Proximity alert. Head. Engines low. Contact. Contact. Begin scan. Contact. Begin scan. System overheated. Aegis combat assist activated. Systems green. Begin scan. Contact. 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 Begin scan.